Okay, mabuhay mga kikampi. Ako ang inyong kikampi na si Puting Pinoy, isang puti na may pusong Pinoy. At ngayon gusto kong talakayin yung or bigyan ng update tungkol sa Nas Daily issue. Now, kung nakabasa ba kayo ng Facebook post ko, may sinabi ako na medyo, paano sabihin ito, medyo hindi naman sumama ang loob ko, kundi may sinabi or may ginawa si Lost Juan na pangit naman kasi inilabas niya or parang naging two-faced ba kay Nas Daily, which is, okay, unang-una, hindi ko pinapanigan si Nas Daily. Wala akong pinapanigan dito. Wala akong sinasabi na dapat, despite the thumbnail, hindi ko naman sinasabi or inaangkin na dapat talaga natin magbigay ng apology. Kundi ang sinasabi ko ngayon, mga kakampi, ay dapat natin alamin yung buong katotohanan, yung buong kwento, para hindi naman tayo makamali. And nakamali siguro ako doon. Kung tutuusin, nang nakita ko na bumaba yung lumabas itong issue, lumitaw itong issue tungkol kay Nas Daily at Juan Od, may bigla ako naalala noon kasi kasama kami ni Finding Tom at ni Lost Juan. At may mga sinasabi-sabi pala si Lost Juan na parang hindi binibigyan ng katwiran or hindi binibigyan ng credit si Lost Juan ni Nas Daily. Sa tingin ko, siyempre malaking creator si Nas Daily at nung nalaman ko itong kwento na yun, hindi naman ako nagsalita kasi wala namang issue noon, pero nang lumabas ito, sabi ko, okay, I think kinakailangan na malaman ng taong mga bagay na ito. So nag-reach out ako kay Lost Juan and parang naging okay naman ng lahat sa aming pag-uusap. Wala namang masama. Pero isang bagay na medyo nakakalito is may mga iba't iba siyang sinabi na medyo na palimping. Tama po ba ang Tagalog ko, mga kakampi? He's just flip-flopping, changing sides about things. Parang wala bang loyalty kay Nas Daily. Kasi para sa kanya, mabait na talaga si Nas Daily or good friend niya daw si Nas Daily. Makaklose sila. So shouldn't they be just talking about it? Like, kung kaibigan ko si Nas Daily at nalaman ko na ginawa niya tungkol kay Juan Od, sasabihan ko siya, huwag gawin yan. Hindi yan tama. Unethical nga. May problema talaga. So, yan nga mga kakampi. Kaya yung ginagawa ni Nas Daily, hindi naman talaga tama. At sa tingin ko, well, talakayin pa natin yan mamaya. Pero ang gusto kong sabihin tungkol kay, tapusin ko muna tungkol kay Lost Juan. Nag-shoutout ako sa nakarang video ko. Para sa akin, gusto kong bigyan hustisya si Sandy ng Lost Juan kasi sabi ko, baka naman magandang pagkakatao nito na i-shoutout yung tao na na-exploit. So, yan ang problema, di ba? Hindi ko alam yung buong kwento. And I think pwede naman tayo matuto lahat tungkol sa sitwasyon na ito. Now, kahit nakamali pala ako tungkol sa ugali ni Lost Juan, and ikikwento ko pa kung anong ibig kong sabihin, kung anong kabuuan ng kwentong yon. Kahit ko na, pasensya yung mga pusa ko. Okay, kahit ganon, ang masasabi ko tungkol kay Lost Juan ay magaling siyang creator. Magaling talaga siyang creator. Gusto kong makita na magiging successful ang channel niya. But then I saw he shared this very private conversation between him and Nas Daily. And I just thought to myself, kung kaibigan ko si Nas Daily, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, I'm going to go ahead and make a way para masasabihan siya na, hey, hindi ito tama. You know? I would hold him accountable. Ganon din, may mga itutunong ako para pwede kong malaman ng lubusan ang situation na ito. Because at this point, Nas Daily, if we're going to be completely honest about this, it was and kind of is vulnerable. At kung kaibigan, kung tunay na kaibigan mo siya, you know, aren't you going to at least try to get to the bottom of this? Aren't you going to at least try to give the benefit of the doubt? Aren't you going to at least sabihin kung ano ba ang problema mo sa kanya? You know, so this is all an aside, but I think it matters kasi maaring sinabi ni anong pangalan niya, ni Lost Juan na ganito pala yung sitwasyon, tapos maaring lutasin niya, maaring baguhin ni Nas Daily, baguhin yung kaisipan ni Nas Daily. Kasi para sa akin mga kakampi, do we want people to be destroyed? Or do we want them to learn, grow, and become better so that the whole world becomes better? Diba? Hindi, siyempre, sa nangyari kay Juan Od, diba, may mga tribal customs ayon sa isang professor, diba? Yung professor na nag-post tungkol dyan. Alam nyo ba kung anong pangalan niya mga kakampi? Nakalimutan ko, nabablink ako. But he shared about how mahalaga yung kalinga tattooing art form sa kultura nila bilang tribe, and they should be all consented, hindi lang si Juan Od. So that's the issue that's happening right here, right? Filipino professor of anthropology dito sa Pilipinas, sabi niya na kinakailangan talaga na makaroon ka ng permisyo ng buong tribe, hindi lang si Juan Od. At siguro ganun din yung family din, di ba? They're part of the tribe. Yeah, so dapat pag-usapan, usually pinag-uusapan yan. So it makes you wonder, was Nas, and these are the things Nas should be answering, was Nas simply unaware kung ano ba yung tribal customs nila? At kung ganun, kung aware siya sa tribal customs nila, bakit naman hindi siya nag-apologize na lang sa halip ng ipagtanggol niya ang sarili niya? Hey, we're the champion of the Filipinos. We employ 40% of our workforce is Filipino. Okay, Nas, nabuksan mo na yung pinto. 40% of your workforce is Filipino? Okay, nagtatanong na ako, nagtataka na ako. Bakit? Bakit 40% ng workforce mo ay Filipino? Okay, that's a question. That's a genuine question. Hindi ko sinasabi, hindi ko ipinapahiwatig na kung ano ba talaga yung totoo, but it's going to help us to arrive at the truth, which is, cheap labor ba ang sahod ng mga Filipino na hinahire niya? If so, I personally would call that exploitation. Kasi alam niya yung economic situation dito sa Pilipinas at ginagamit niya yan para for his multi-million dollar company para sabihin na, yeah, we love Filipinos, we love them, this and that, pero where's the due diligence? Bakit hindi binigyan ng respeto ang tribo ni Juan Od? Bakit hindi binigyan ng respeto? I mean, come on. Like, siyempre, hindi pwedeng lagyan ng presyo ang isang kultura. Priceless naman yan, di ba? Sabi nga ni Nico David tungkol doon. But, for it to be 750, tsaka yung mga ibang courses niya, umaabot sa 4,500 pesos? Medyo pangit tingnan talaga. Parang mura talaga ang benta sa isang ancient tradition. So, Para sa akin, humihingi siya and ng mga iba, humihingi din ng mga ibang netizens na bigyan natin si, anong pangalan niya, Nas Daily ng benefit of the doubt. Kumbaga, parang mag-apologize, parang ganyan yung pahiwatig. And I'll say this, no, we don't apologize. Hindi dapat talaga. Dahil, well, and let me ipapaliwanag ko kung anong ibig kong sabihin. Huwag tayong mag-apologize na pinag-uusapan na itong paksang ito. Kasi mahalaga talaga ito. Ako, alam niyo mga kakampi, nung kasasimulan ko mag-vlogging, napansin ko yung mga ibang foreign vloggers at napansin ko na sobrang BS ang mga lumalabas sa bunganga nila. BS na mga papuri, mga sip-sip, at ginagawa lang nila ito. Hindi ako nagbibiro mga kakampi, kahit mga foreigner mismo ang nagsabi sa akin, kahit sa behind the scenes, may kilala ako na may kaibigan. Kahit ako, may naging kaibigan ako na siya mismo umamin na Pinoybait siya. Na ginamit niya ang mga paka-OA upang makahakot siya ng views and subscribers. At kung wala yung paka-OA na yun, hindi sana siya nakahakot ng mga views at ng mga subscribers na yun. Are we on the same page mga kakampi? Okay, so kung totoo nga ba na nagiging exploitative si Nas Daily, napakahalaga talaga nito because it just goes to demonstrate how stories and narratives are and can be manipulated by unethical, dishonest creators. Okay, now, bigyan din natin ng pakikitaon para sa compassion. Compassion at serving na naglalingkod sa katotohanan. Ibig kong sabihin doon ay maging malawak tayo sa ating pag-iisip. Kung nakamali ba talaga si Nas Daily, nakamali ba siya at sinadya ba niya? Ano ba ang intention niya? Yan ang gusto kong alamin natin. Is he paying and compensating his people fairly? Now, yung mga organizers na lumapit sa akin, naging organizers sila para kay Nas Daily. At hindi ko masasabi ang lahat because some of that is confidential. But one of the things they did do is they set the record straight tungkol sa scenario kay Lost Juan. Sinabi nila na may medyo pangit na lumabas sa bungangan niya, lumitaw sa bungangan niya sa kanila, parang anong tawag na ito? Like, there were a lot of things off, and kahit daw binigyan siya ng benefit of the doubt, there was still things that he was doing that was problematic. And it seemed like medyo opportunistic lang siya. Samantalang sila bilang mga volunteers, gusto lang nila na lumabas na masaya si Nas Daily. They're volunteering nga. And that was the usapan sa pinakasimula. Now, I do also... One moment, my cat's going crazy behind here. Okay, never mind. By the way, mga kakampi, huwag kalimutan na sampalin ng like, sampalin ng kampana, at kung gusto nyo, kung generous talaga kayo, magsampal kayo ng share. And share this video so that way we've got more people in the discussion. But I think we do owe it. I mean, we do owe it to people to be honest. We are to give them the benefit of the doubt, but we also owe it to ourselves to discuss things. We owe it to ourselves to not just sit idly by while things are happening. You know, let me go ahead and take a look really quick. Si Kakamping Jerry Singh. By the way, mga kakampi, panoorin niyo yung video niya. Nag-interview kami, and it's a beautiful thing. For me, kakampi, I don't care if it's priced cheaply or expensive because first of all, hindi dapat yan nandyan. Kultura yan ng mga taga-Kalinga, and hindi dapat yan nilagay dyan sa first place. I agree, Kakampi. I think there's something, oh crap. My cats are going crazy and nearly knocking over lights and stuff. there are issues, diba, with there are issues with what he did inherently. Like, you can't even give an excuse for it, right? There's things like that. But then there's also, did he do it with the intention? Did he do it knowingly? So yan ang dapat natin alamin para maging patas din tayo. I think it's important to give a fair trial. And diba, tulad ng sinasabi ni batas natin, you know, dapat pakinggan ng lahat ng mga sides para mabuo yung katotohanan, para makaroon ng hustisya. And there are people who are saying, you know, we should apologize to Nas Daily. Now, for me personally, I don't think we should apologize. This is broad open, great topic for discussion na dapat talaga natin talakayin. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop, Ronald Weasley. Okay, the cat continuously keeps bumping into my my camera. Okay, so these cultures and traditions are sacred to most ethnic ethnic and tribal groups. Tapos gagawin lang na online course as content creators. There are lines na hindi dapat i-cross. Yes, I agree, Kikampi, but I would like to say this. Because potentially mayroon ganito. Okay, and balikan ko ulit yung tungkol kay Lost Juan. Sinabi ko kanina, kinuwento ko kanina, but I'll go ahead and return to it for those who are just now joining. And of course, kay Luis, there's some things that seem problematic as well. Ganito yan. May pagkakataon ako noon. Okay? Noon. Nakaroon ako ng pagkakataon na pinuntahan ko ang mga lumad ng Mindanao, and they were touring the US. Well, yung tao doon, nalaman niya na vlogger ako, and inanyaya niya ako na sumayaw. Sabi ko kasi may video ako na budots ang peg ng video. At nagustuhan niya. At nagustuhan naman niya yung idea. Sabi niya, hey, sumali ka sa sayaw nila mamaya, sasayaw sila at parang budots yung sayaw niyon. So, sa utak ko, okay, magbabudots ako. Diba, modern dancing naman yan, medyo masayahin, medyo goofy. Yung tribal dance nila ay hindi tulad ng bundot. ng budots, diba? But I got up at sinimulan kong magbudots, and somebody agad-agad sinabi nila, hey, wag yung ganyan. And then I was like, oo nga, wag nang yung ganyan. Pero bakit sinabi sa akin na dapat pang budots ang sayaw ko? You know, so for me, I wasn't given proper education. I wasn't given proper understanding kung paano dapat yung sayaw, how I should conduct myself. Paano kung ganyan ang nangyari kay Nas Daily? Kung may lumapit sa kanya at nagsabi sa kanya na, hey, go ahead, do this. And those people themselves have an ulterior motive or are exploiting or are doing something that could lead to Nas Daily looking bad. Diba? Kung may nag-video noon nang nagbudot sa ko agad, I'm sure na ma-viral yan. I'm sure na may sasabihin ng mga netizens na, wala yan respeto. But that's what I was told. I was told to do the budots. And then it wasn't. So then I went ahead, I followed, sumunod naman ako, kinaya ko naman yung mga dance steps nila, and it turned out okay. It was very brief, but isa lang itong halimbawa kung paano mamanipula ang tao sa iba or kung paano makakaroon ng di pagkakaunawaan. So, you know, that's what I would like to know with Nas Daily. Was he just a victim of ignorance? Was he a victim of naivete? At kung ganon, bakit hindi niya ina-address yan? Because he should. You know, he should be putting out a video, I think, personally, and he should be answering kung ano ba yung labor, yung pay Is it comparable to international, or is it exploitative of Filipinos living in the Philippines? Ayaw na ayaw ko talaga sa mga outsourcing ng mga malalaking companies na billion-dollar, million-dollar companies that aren't paying their staff fairly. Yan ang malaking issue para sa akin. Now, balikan natin saglit si Lost Juan. Ano pa ba ang papel ni Lost Juan? Bakit andun siya sa farm kasama nila Nas? Okay, so si Lost Juan, isa siya sa mga volunteer at lagi siya nagva-volunteer tuwing pumaparito si Nas Daily. And Nas would go ahead, he would pay the way for him to do this and that, but ultimately Lost Juan was part of, helping with the team. So as far as Luis goes, malabo talaga yung kwentong yun. But here's what I personally know, based on my experience, based on what dozens of other people have come up to me who know Lost Juan personally have said. May mga di magandang ginawa siya. May mga bagay na ginawa niya na hindi maganda. Yeah. And that's sad for me because I went to bat for him. Sinusuportahan ko siya sa nakaraang video, right? I said we should be supporting Lost Juan, hindi yung mga ginitong banyagan na nag-exploit lang. Well, I was wrong about the situation and I just simply wanted to be a support, but it turns out mali pala ako about Lost Juan. And that hurts me. Kasi ako mismo, gusto ko na maging tagumpay si Lost Juan. But that thing that happened, that was embarrassing for me. Na, hindi pala ganyan. Like, he was telling a story na hindi naman nakapantay-pantay yung mga facts. There were issues with the story. So, let's see here. What are we going to? Yes, exactly. So here we go. Kakamping veracity music. Naivete, ignorance is a much more acceptable reason for this, but would Nas admit to that? He should admit to that. Kakampi, he should. Kung ignorant lang siya, then he can at least save himself by saying, I didn't know. Nakamali ako, I'm so sorry, guys. But if he knowingly did this, that's really, really, really bad. Would he admit to actually knowing it and not being ignorant or naive? Okay? But then the other thing is, again, yung mga Filipino na 40% of his workforce, ano ba ang mga sahod nila? Kung isa ka sa mga nagtrabaho para kay Nas Daily or kung isa ka sa mga team ni Nas Daily, please let me know. Kung ikaw, if you are Nas Daily himself, please come on this live stream. I want to ask questions. I want the truth to be revealed. I want for people to not be unethical about vlogging, especially not here in the Philippines. Ganito nga kasi yan mga kakampi. Doon sa Pinoybaiting, hindi porket panyaga Pinoybaiting yan. Iba din yung marketing. Marketing is absolutely necessary to sell a product, to get a video viewed. So if there's an attractive thumbnail, if there's an attractive title, and it goes along, relevant naman sa tema, then that is not wrong. But if, halimbawa, sinabi ko, like, let's just pretend for a moment that I don't know Tagalog. Let's pretend for a moment that I've only known about the Philippines for 4 months. And I say, wow, the Philippines is the greatest thing ever. Gee golly. And it's like, I love the Philippines. Filipinos are the greatest. If I said something like that, kung sinabi ko ang mga ganyan, alam mo, can we believe that that's actually taos puso? We shouldn't believe that, right? We shouldn't believe that. Bakit? Alam nila, that's their plan, that's their business model. Para lokohin, para magpuri sa mga Pinoy ng sobrang OA na makahakot na sila ng views. That's the point here, mga kakampi. That is the point. That should not be happening. And if Nas Daily is doing that, And if all these other people are doing that, kasi alam nila na sa Pinoybaiting, there is a global thirst for validation from other countries dito sa Pilipinas. Ako, alam ko yan. And dahil alam ko yan, I am very, very careful kung ano ba ang ipapalabas ko dito sa channel. Hindi ko magagawa yung video na first time ko kumain ng adobo because I've been eating adobo for over 13 years. So that would be dishonest for me to say that, right? But here I am, and here people like Lost Juan are not getting the views because foreigners na mga sip-sip, na mga Pinoy baiters are pushed and favored by the algorithm of YouTube and Facebook, and they are also the people who are saying all these BS nice things about Filipinos, and a lot of people watching are like, oh yes, thank you so much. Maraming salamat po. God bless po. At sinabi mo na mahal mo ang Pilipinas. Well, they might not love the Philippines. That's what this story is revealing. That is what is so important about this. They can be manipulating their stories para makahakot sila ng views. That's the issue, mga kakampi. That's something I have hated. I have hated from the very, very beginning of being on social media. I learned Tagalog way before social media was a thing, way before vlogging was a thing. Natuto ba ako ng Tagalog dahil basta-basta lang? Hindi, di ba? Hindi basta-basta matuto ng wika. Ako, hindi ko nalaman may wikang Tagalog pala hanggang 19 years old ako. You know? So, kung may konting accent ako, kung medyo malalim or formal yung Tagalog ko, ang dahilan doon ay paano sabihin ito? Hindi sa buong buhay ko natututo ako ng Tagalog, kundi nung adult na ako natututo ako ng Tagalog. But my question is, the people who are coming here to the Philippines, we must be asking the question, ano ba ang intention nila? Are they genuine? And how can we know whether they're genuine or not? And yan ang isa sa mga gusto kong talakayin. I'm going to talk about this again. This is one of my big things on my channel. Kay Batas Natin, his advocacy is really against poverty porn, which has a connection a lot of times to Pinoybaiting. For me naman, para sa akin naman, is to know, let's see here. One moment. I'm sorry. Give me just one moment, mga kampi. Okay. For me, it's important, how do we know kung nagpa-Pinoy bait ang isang tao? So, nagsulat nga ako ng mga tanong para makaroon tayo ng idea. Okay? Ang pinaka-gusto ko kasi mangyari is decolonization. It's great kung nagbigay ng compliment na taos puso ang isang foreigner. But if it's not taos puso, if it's dahil lang gusto nilang makahakot ng views, then that isn't genuine, that isn't ethical, and we should not be accepting that. So ito, kasi kami ni Dwayne Woolley, matagal namin pinag-uusapan ang issue na ito. Actually, we talked about Pinoybaiting before we even knew there was a word for Pinoybaiting. We were discussing this way back in 2018. Okay, please stop, Kat. Saglit lang. Okay, so we were discussing this all the way back in 2018, diba? Pinoybaiting term was coined by M.A. Buendia. We're actually friends, social media influencer friends. And one moment. Please. Okay. Pasensya yung pusa ko, nagwawala. So, like I've been discussing this for a long, long time. This is an advocacy of mine. For me, hindi basta-basta ang Pilipinas. So, here's some questions we can ask kung paano malaman kung Pinoy baiter ba ang creator na ito. Okay. So, wait, saglit lang. May sagutin ako. May nagtanong kung bakit ako okay. Sa'yo, kakamping Sizzling Showbiz Scandals. Nice name. Parang maganda yung YouTube channel mo. Purong scandals. But bakit puro about Pinoy ang content ko? Okay, para sa akin, matagal ang involvement ko sa Pilipinas. Hindi lang dahil sa vlogging ito. Okay? At alam nyo mga kakampi, I've made maybe 100,000, just over 100,000, between 100,000 and 150,000 pesos within 3 years. That is way below minimum wage, mga kakampi. But I still continue to create content because I believe that it is meaningful. Sa tingin ko, makabuluhan ang sinasabi ko at mahalaga ang sinasabi ko. There are people who are being unethical and dishonest, and that should be highlighted. Dapat nga i-expose natin ang mga yun. Okay? As far as for me, so yeah, I'm not making that much money. And if I was, you can bet that my content would stay relatively the same, talking about important issues, and I would continue to be helping and supporting the Filipinos that I'm close to, and other causes if there's something that I really believe in. For instance, naniniwala talaga ako na iligtas yung mga puspin. Naniniwala ako na maraming nagdurusa ng mga puspin, mga askal, diba? Sa kalsada, I want them to have better homes. I want for Filipinos to be able to progress and to not be taken advantage of by foreigners. So me, as a foreigner, I have a platform that I can use to expose those things and to discuss those things from a different angle na siguro kung tutuusin, magiging mas interesadong mga tao. The thing is, though, people are more interested in the BS compliments than hearing something of substance. As you can see, if you compare my views to the views of a Pinoybaiter, So that's something I think that's really, really, really important to analyze about all of this. So here, look at this. Let me go ahead with this. Ito ang paraan para malaman nyo kung Pinoybaiter o hindi. Alam nyo ba kung paano nyo malalaman kung Pinoybaiter o hindi? Ganito, kung mababa ang views nila, magsasawa ba silang gumawa ng pang Pinoy na content? Or sa ibang salita, lumilipat lang sila? Are they going to a different country after the Philippines didn't give them enough views? Think about it. These travel vloggers, they've been to Vietnam, they've been to Thailand, they've been to China, they've been to Japan, they've been to some of them, the US, Miami, Europe, but they're not getting the views that they want. And then suddenly they come to the Philippines and wow, ang lakas ng mga views dito. Oh, I'm sorry, they're speaking English. They don't know Tagalog. So their opinions about things shouldn't even matter as much because they don't even know what's happening in the country. Hindi man sila qualified na sabihin ang mga opinions nila because they don't know about the kasaysayan of the Philippines. They don't know about the languages of the Philippines. Wala silang pakialam. Basta sa kanila, makahakot sila ng pera at ng views. May nais pa silang tumira sa Pilipinas. Okay, are they living in a developed country? They're just making reaction videos because tulad sa mga iba, nakatukla sila, oh wow, malakas ang views sa Pilipinas. Or are they coming to the Philippines and then buying mansions? Not to say that there's anything wrong with living fine. I have a simple house. Like, sobrang simple nga. I have a kapitbahay. Hindi ito malaking bahay, na sobrang laki. It has 2 bedrooms. It has an up and a down. But it's not like it's something so extravagant. I'm not living this crazy life. Kung minsan ako din, nagtataka ako kung saan manggagaling ang pakain ko. Saan manggagaling, nag-aalala din ako sa pera. But sila, they're not worried about money. They're in a good financial state, and they're getting an even better financial state because of what's going on. We're going to talk about Project Nightfall din, mga kakampi. Okay, yung ibang tanong, ituloy natin. May balak ba silang matuto ng Tagalog o isa sa mga katutubong wika ng Pilipinas? Kasi kung hindi, are their intentions really pure? Do they really want to know enough about the Philippines, or do they want to know just enough na pwede pa rin nilang sabihin ang mga BS na compliments? That's what you got to think. Umiiwas-iwas ba sila sa mga mahalagang issue at purong positibo lang ang masasabi nila? Kung wala man silang masasabi na pangit, or constructive criticism tungkol sa Pilipinas, iniiwasan lang nila dahil ayaw nilang makaroon ng controversy, ayaw nilang makaroon ng backlash or ng bashing. But the truth is the truth. Kung may bagay na dapat pagbutihin or ayusin dito sa Pilipinas, dapat na natin tinatalakay. Hindi yung iwas-iwas muna, good vibes na lang muna. No, that's toxic. That's not going to help anybody progress. Tanong, tuloy natin yung tanong. Ginagamit pa nila ang pera nila sa pagtulong sa mga poor Filipino, aka poverty porn, na para sila ang pinakamagiting tao sa buong mundo. If they are doing that, they are Pinoybaiters. If they are doing that, they are being exploitative of the kindness of Filipinos. They are building their channel and their business on basically the fact that they compliment Filipinos. That's about it. You know, like tulad ng sinasabi ni Attorney Libayan, kaya nga ba? Like, can they really, truly achieve a level of self-reliability kung magbigay lang ng 5,000 pesos or 10,000 pesos and then bukas wala na yung pera, or sa loob ng isang linggo wala na yung pera? Like, kawawa sila, di ba? So, dapat maging sustainable yung pagtulong sa mga taong ito. Hindi yung gamitin lang sila para makahakot ng views, right? And it should be something that could help them to progress in life, not something that will just easily disappear. You know, give them a fishing rod, metaphorically speaking, at the very least. I made a video where I gave guitars. I gave acoustic guitars to people sa probinsya ng Bataan. Maraming tao sa probinsya, siguro alam naman ninyo mga kakampi, na mahilig mag-gitara, pero hindi sila makabili ng gitara. So hiram-hiram lang or wala silang pakikitaon. Sa tingin ko, wow, if I give them a guitar, then they can actually use that to benefit their lives, to enrich their lives, to maybe even create songs, to maybe even become the next huge musician here in the Philippines. For me, it's about giving opportunities, not about giving handouts for the sake of me profiting. That's just wrong. Kung di maayos ang sagot sa bawat tanong na ito, malamang nga ay Pinoybaiting ito. Okay, so this is not the point. So I'm not naming specific vloggers, but I'm giving principles na dapat natin pag-isipan. Because ganun nga, paano kung hindi lumabas itong issue ni Nas Daily? Seseryosoin pa ba ng mga tao? Is that something that they would do? Do you think so sa palagay niyo mga kakampi? Or would they continue to do it? And nobody would know? Nobody would care? Sinabi ko sa isa sa mga posts ko sa Facebook, okay, so gamitin ko ang sarili ko bilang halimbawa, but this isn't even about me. This is about a huge, huge issue. So ako, sinasubukan kong gawin ang tamang bagay. Ganon din. Okay, Doc Adam din. Sinasubukan niyang gawin ang tamang bagay. Pero ano ba ang nangyayari habang ginagawa namin ang tamang bagay? Nakakaroon ng lawsuit. Nakakaroon ng konti mababang views. Samantalang yung mga walang saysay na purong BS na mga sip-sip na compliments, ito ay mga bagay na, it's not going to be addressed. Okay, so kakampi, hindi porket gumagawa sila ng mga ganda ay tama pa rin ang Pinoybaiting. This is a logical fallacy. So I think it's good that they're putting out videos, but that's not the issue. That's a non sequitur. Kung may mga ginagawa sila na charity, okay, cool. At hindi rin nila inilalagay sa vlogs, okay, cool. But ang tanong ba, how did they get their viewers? How did they get their subscribers in the first place? Wasn't it from saying a bunch of BS compliments? Pag-isipan natin ito. They established their whole entire business model on being disingenuine. That's the thing. Pakatiwalaan nyo ako, foreigner ako, alam ko yung mga ibang vloggers behind the scenes. I hear the stories directly from people and from people who know those people. So yes, trust me, it's a real thing. Hindi ako nagbibiro. Hindi ako nagsasabi ng walang saysay. This is a real thing. Pag-isipan po natin, mga kakampi. Now, that's why I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to say specific vloggers nang walang like matibay na ebidensya or na ina-expose ko sa private conversation because that's unethical. I'm still going to go about things in an ethical manner. Diba yung police force, may mga pamamaraan na kailangan nilang sundin, Well, as long as you enjoy the content, okay, let's see here. As I see, the root of foreign exploitation of the Filipinos is also because of Pinoy pride. That is moral flaw of Filipinos needs global validation and publicity. That's why foreigners endorse this. Agreed, exactly. So ang sinasabi ko is we should be more careful about that. Now, as far as yung sinasabi mo, Alindahaw, for me, as long as I enjoy the content, I don't care. Sorry, just my opinion. Okay, may tanong ako. Kung gumawa ang isa sa mga politicians nyo ng bagay na nakakatuwa, pero ganun pala, nagsisinungaling siya sa inyo at corrupt pala siya, okay pa ba rin? Hindi, di ba? Kung nagde-date ka ng isang tao na masayahin talaga sila, pero purong kasinungalingan ang sinasabi nila sa'yo, okay ba? Basta enjoy lang? Kung yan ang usapan nyo, sige, good game, GG na. Pero kung hindi yan usapan nyo, bakit nyo tatanggapin ang kasinungalingan ng mga YouTubers who are being very unethical, who are being very dishonest para makahakot ng views? Samantalang yung mga political, you'll say, corrupt yan, masama yan. Pag boyfriend or girlfriend, or kung kahit kaibigan lang, or kapatid lang, or nanay, tatay, anak, sasabihin mo, masama talaga magsinungaling. Do you hear what I'm saying? Bakit nga, when it comes to all of those things, we care. But when it comes to YouTube, we don't give a right? Tama po ba yan, mga kakampi? Gamitin nga natin ang critical thinking natin. So, ang apology that we owe to Nas Daily is really none. Nakamali nga siya, and he needs to own up to that. He needs to learn from his mistakes. Diba? If they're not saying anything, if people are not saying things that actually matter, then why are we giving them the time of day? If it's not going to help us to progress, if it's going to, hindi ko naman sinasabi nila lahat na hindi pwedeng maging katuwaan vlog. Hindi pwedeng may konting prank there, may konting charity there. Like, as long as it isn't poverty porn, as long as it isn't exploitative, as long as it isn't dishonest, as long as it follows some sense of ethics, Yes, exactly. No wonder those people are elected year by year. Diba may connection talaga ito? If you're allowing vloggers who are dishonest, you're also allowing politicians who are dishonest. You're also allowing relationships that are dishonest. We should care about dishonesty regardless, period. So thank you very much, Kikampi, for that discussion and that debate topic. You know, and I think that's the other thing. Huwag tayo agad makatake sa tao. You know, I disagreed with what, just as an example, I disagreed with what Alindaha was saying initially, right? I mean, I just straight up disagreed with it. Pero sinabi ko bang bobo ka? No, I didn't, right? I listened. I tried to understand. I tried to give room for us to discuss something and to have a level and foster a ground of understanding. Ganyan nga dapat, mga kikampi. That's the apology that we should be making. We should be apologizing to ourselves for not being more critical thinkers, for just believing whatever is told to us agad. We should be really thinking about these things. Diba? Let's see here. Natauhan ako sa sinasabi mo, Kakampi. Ilang buwan pa lang ako subscriber mo, pero ngayon ko lang nakita pagkakaiba mo sa mga nakasanayan kong panoorin foreign vloggers. It's an eye-opener. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that, Kakampi. You know, for me, kung yung banyaga is being good. Okay, wait. One more reason. Bakit sobrang mahalaga din ito sa akin? Well, sa mga Pinoy baiters that there are, sa mga tao na nagiging unethical, nadadamay ako. Si Doc Adam, kaya siya gumawa ng video tungkol kay Juan Od at Nas Daily na ito. We are also being included in this. We can't escape it. May mga tao already na nagsasabi nga na banyaga ka, ikaw din, ganyan ka din. You're also exploiting Filipinos. You're also being dishonest. You're doing the same thing. Wait, ganon ba? Ganyan ang tanong ko. Ganon ba? Like, pinag-iisipan ba ang pinakakaiba? Hindi porket pareho kaming banyaga, ay pareho kami gumagamit ng Pilipinas. Pareho kaming nagiging unethical. No. And being unethical could be being Filipino, Filipino vlogger, and saying a ton of lies about things knowingly and then continuing to go on for your benefit. Diba? So, you know, we're not the same. And it's not fair para sabihin na ako, na matagal ako nagsasalita ng Tagalog, matagal ako nagmamalasakit. May nanay ako sa Bataan, Nanay Flores. Siya ang isa sa mga pinakamahal ko sa buhay. Siya ang nagalaga sa akin nung pumarito ako sa Pilipinas. Tumira ako sa probinsya. Hindi ako nag-English. Alam mo, sobrang dami kong nosebleeds noon. Na siguro papuntahin ako sa hospital sa dami ng nosebleeds ko. Kahit naiyak ako sa harap ng mga bata. Ganyan ang karanasan ko. Ganyan katindi ang dedication ko sa pagmamalasakit at sa pagkakaroon ng respeto sa Pilipinas. That's back in 2008, before Lloyd Cadena or Kong TV was even really a thing, right? It was just barely getting started. So ito, Puting Pinoy, ano ba ang magandang move or action para maalis yung mga ganitong klase ng kaugalian ng Pilipino? So para sa akin, marami din akong nakikita na sobrang talino, na sobrang critical thinkers, but the thing that we got to do is differentiate. I think the biggest thing we can do, matutunan natin yung mga logical fallacies. Matutunan natin ang mga philosophy, kung paano natin malaman kung anong totoo. Because we can be manipulated by logical fallacies. So sa channel ko, lagi ko pinag-uusapan ang mga logical fallacies, diba, tungkol kay makagago noon, tungkol sa mga iba't iba pa, diba? So, yeah, let's see here. Discipline, I wonder, that's an interesting, yeah, exactly, here. Matagal na tayo pinagsasamantalahan ng mga foreign vloggers, nakataon lang na nabukong si Nas Daily na isang sikat na foreign vlogger. Pero if di nabuking si Nas hanggang ngayon, diehard pa din kayo. And that's a good point. That's a good point. So we should be able to recognize certain things na may paka whatever, right? Okay. To know kung Pinoybaiting nga sila. Okay, wait one moment. Ngayon, nasa buwan tayo ng mga wika ng Pilipinas, di ba, kakampi? Alam mo ba ang mga responses, possibling maging responses ng colonialism? Lalaban ka sa sistema, yan ang madalas nangyayari sa US, sa Black American community. Lagi sila nagagalit, nagpo-protest, naghahanap ng hustisya kasi hindi sila tinuturing na mga tao, ng mga masamang tao. You know, there's racism that's really intense, but they don't accept it. They try to fix it. They try to address it. They don't just lie down and take it. Pero, pakikibagay. That's the other common response to being colonized. Yan ang nangyayari dito sa Pilipinas. Ano bang mga ilan sa mga ehemplo ng pakikibagay ng nangyayari dito sa Pilipinas? Lahat ng mga Pinoy ay nagsasalita ng English. Bullshit. No, not true. Not true. Kung nakatira ka dito sa Metro Manila, kung nakatira ka sa Cebu, kung nakatira ka sa, basta mga area na yon, malamang mas marunong ka. Pero nakatira ako sa Pasig. Hindi lahat ng tao marunong mag-English at may limitation din. So bakit nga ba sinasabi ko na dapat maging requirement na matuto mag-Tagalog yung mga vloggers na ito? Kasi it's a test to see how dedicated, how genuine they are. Gusto ba natin na tayo lagi ang makikibagay sa kanila? O sila na pumaparito sa Pilipinas ang makikibagay? Yan ang tanong ko. That's why may buwan ng mga wika ng Pilipinas. At hindi lang Tagalog, di ba? Bisaya, Kapampangan, Chavacano, Ilocano, Bisaya, Cebuano, Waray-Waray, Ilonggo. Di ba maraming iba't ibang wika ang Pilipinas, mahigit 180. They can't even take the time to dedicate themselves to learning one language? Paano nila masasabi? Okay, isa pa. One of the most, Finding Tom. We're friends now. Magkaibigan na kami ni Finding Tom. Pero pakinggan nyo ito mga kakampi. He made a video 2018, bago pa lang ako, and he made a video saying, are Filipinos the best people in the world? That video got like 5 to 7 million views, I can't remember. But sobrang daming kumain. Sobrang daming they just took it. They digested it. They loved it. Pero may sinabi nga si Tom doon that I was wondering, is he being honest or is he just ignorant? Kasi may sinabi siya, they are the least judgmental people in the world. Kalukuhan yan, no? Bakit naman lagi natin pinag-uusapan ng mga chismis? Ibig sabihin, dahil hindi man sila marunong sa isang wika, kahit isang wikang Pinoy, hindi talaga accurate yung pananaw nila tungkol sa Pilipinas. So how are they even qualified to make comments like that? Isa pa, dahil nagawa niya yung mga ganyan content na hindi man qualified na sabihin ng mga ganyan bagay, it is Pinoybaiting. And guess what? Whether he meant to or not, it is. Because it lacks so much in perspective and insight. That is a failure to the Filipinos. Because the Philippines deserves way better than just BS compliments. The BS compliments do not benefit you. They benefit the foreigners. That's how Nas Dailies happen. That's how situations like this happen. So, pasensya ka kampi Athena, but sobrang hindi ako sang-ayon sa sinasabi mo. People should be tested about whether they are truly genuine about the Philippines. Ako, tulad ng sinabi ko, nagugutom ako kung minsan. Nag-aalala ako kung, Pecha de Peligro, nangyayari yan sa akin palagi. Kung minsan 2 linggo. Kung minsan 2 linggo ako nasa Pecha de Peligro. Pero nagsisinungaling ba ako? Gumagawa ba ako ng content para lang lokohin yung audience ko? Hindi. Kasi may respeto ako sa audience ko. May respeto ako sa mga Pinoy. Kung sila wala ng views, aalis lang sila. Ako, hindi. Kasi itong Philippines, itong bansang ito, this is my second home. I've lived here for 4+ years. NPA nga ako, no permanent address. Out of all the places I've lived, there have been only 3 places that I've lived for more than 4 years. And hulaan nyo, dito sa Pilipinas, I'm already living 4 years in the Philippines, 2008 hanggang 2010, 2019 hanggang 2000 hanggang present, right? I suffer in silence, hindi ko sinasabi. Thank you, Kikampi. You know, I suffer in silence, samantalang yung mga tao are very, very, like, wala silang pakialam. You know, so even Finding Tom, he realized that he got his audience, his huge following, dahil sa Pinoybaiting. And then guess what's even sadder? Nang natauhan siya dahil sa paliwanag ko sa kanya at mga ibang Pinoy na nakapaligid sa kanya, he started making videos, or he started to make videos before that actually, that were more serious. Pero alam mo, bumaba na yung views niya. The truth is not popular. If he started out with the truth from the very, very beginning, he wouldn't have grown to his popularity. When he started speaking the truth, maraming nabalimpat, yan ba, yung nag-flip-flop? Parang yung dating supporters ni Finding Tom, biglang ang sinabi nila, oh no, we don't like what you're doing, Tom. You should stick to just really like uplifting paka-OA na mga compliments about the Philippines. But he couldn't because he realized natauhan na siya. Ito, Kikampi, sa totoo lang, niyakap mo at minahal mo ang kultura ng Pilipino, kaya marami kaming sumasuporta sa iyo. Well, maraming salamat, Kikampi. Kung minsan, I wish bumabalimbing. Thank you, Kikampi. Bumabalimbing. May mga bumabalimbing na mga supporters dahil natauhan si Tom. And that is so sad to me. That is so sad to me. You know, siya mismo ang nagsabi na umalis siya ng Pilipinas nang dahil sa mga ganyan comments of people kind of wanting to live in ignorance about the things that could be improved in the Philippines, or the fact that there are Pinoy baiters and that should be addressed. He basically left it all behind, and I commend Tom for speaking the truth. Uhaw sa papuri, tama, Kikampi. Tama. Pinoy also need to change pag foreigner. Yeah, exactly. Kung yung mga Pinoy, kung pumunta kayo sa bansa, makikibagay kayo, di ba? So bakit pag may mga foreigner pumapunta dito, hindi sila yung nakikibagay? Now, mga Kikampi, marami akong respeto. Malaki ang respeto ko tungkol sa Pilipinas. Pero isa pa, hindi lahat ng mga bagay sa Pilipinas ay maganda. Like, matauhan lang tayo. Tayo lang. Tagalog lang ito. Hindi kailangan malaman ng mga iba pang bansa. Pero para sa atin, alam natin na may mga issue. Alam natin na may mga katoksikan dito sa Pilipinas na dapat natin talakayin, na dapat natin i-address, pag-usapan, ayusin. Okay? Lumaki ako sa isang simbahan na Mormons kung saan yung mga magandang bagay tungkol sa kultura na kinalakihan ko, parehas sa Pilipinas. Yung mga pangit na bagay tungkol sa kultura na kinalakihan ko, pareho sa toxic aspects ng Pilipinas. Kaya ako, may insight ako kasi buong buhay ako nag-iisip tungkol sa mga bagay na ito. And it is sad to me na yung difference lang is the Philippines was colonized. I personally felt colonized dahil sa naranasan ko sa religion ko, but the reality is I got out of it. I was able to get out of it. And I think dapat ganyan din yung mindset ng mga tao. Kung ano ba yung mindset that's holding people back, they should be able to get out of it. How? Critical thinking. Critical thinking leads to not being taken advantage of. Critical thinking leads to revolutions tulad ng sinabi ni Jose Rizal, di ba? Dahil sa pag-iisip, dahil sa utak ni Jose Rizal, kaya nakaroon ng pagbago, di ba? So we should be thinking about how we actually even think, you know? Okay, wait, we all agree with you. Cool. Well, I appreciate that. You know, exactly. When they go to other places, they respect the culture of those things. It's sad when the foreigners come here, you're playing Western music for them at the bars. A lot of men are going to the bars with all these 18-year-old, 21-year-old Filipinas when they're in their 60s or 70s. They're not there for love. They're there because they feel like they missed out on something in life, which I'm not going to judge that. But at the same time, if they want to be here, at least prove that they respect the country instead of pupunta sila dito and babastusin lang nila, gigamitin lang nila. It's so basta. I don't like it at all. Foreigner nga ako, and I hate it, right? Maraming salamat, Kakampi. So, mga Kakampi, we'll just conclude with this thing of, what's his name, addressing the issue, this dude. Let me see. By the way, mga Kakampi, thank you so much for watching to this point. Siguraduhin yung mga Kakampi na sampalin ninyo ang like at sampalin ninyo ang kampana. At kung generous kayo ngayon, sampalin ninyo ang share. I-share nyo ito sa mga kaibigan nyo. That will help this channel a lot, as well as hopefully give us more meaningful discussions. So kung para sa inyo, gusto nyo ang content ko, gusto nyo ang mga sinasabi ko, please be a part of the movement. Let's do this. Okay, panorin na natin to, mga Kakampi. Oh wait, let me get my branding here. We're going to do a background here really quick. Bam, we're going to have this in the background. By the way, mga Kakampi, maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga tao na nagko-comment tungkol sa bagay na ito. I think it's great that people are really standing up and standing in solidarity against dishonesty. So let's see yung sinabi ni Project Nightfall.
Hello, Philippines. I'm recording this video because it makes me sad that there are people out there who right now lost their respect for me for something I'm not even a part of.
Okay.
It's been almost 2 years since I have worked on anything directly with Nas.
Okay.
Time now.
Mga Kakampi, nakikita nyo ba ang ginagawa niya? Nilalayo niya ang sarili niya kay Nas. Oh, no. Hindi ako yan. That's Nas. That's Nas. You know? Of course, he's going to share the story about Luis. And he's going to poke holes in the story of Luis. And I've seen other Filipinos even say that Luis is not being completely honest. She's being opportunistic. I don't know the full story there. But I guess I have a little bit more likelihood to believe it. Pero hindi naman yan yung issue, di ba? The issue is, makano ba ang kinikita ng mga Pinoy sa company ni Nas Daily? At ganon din is a cheap labor. At ganon din is the Wang Ode thing being addressed properly. It doesn't seem to be.
Fully focused on the Project Nightfall organization. That is the only way I managed to grow it to so many people from all around the world. But some people still group me and Nas like we're the same person working on the same
Salamat
thing.
Kakampi.
We're not. But taking
I love the
aside,
soundtrack. The soundtrack he's using is Chopin. Isa sa mga favorite pianist ko.
It's a viral post.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's Claire de Lune.
To me.
It's Debussy.
A post from Louise,
Sorry.
who wrote a lot of bad stuff about things that my friend Nas allegedly said 2 years ago. Guess what? I was there. I went there to work on a video about Luis too, so I can give you my version. And trust me, I could have just stayed silent and in a few days forget about this. But if there's one thing that I really dislike, it's when people build their careers while taking other people down. It's very unfair. And
Okay. So I
tell-
agree. Sang-ayon ako kay Project Nightfall doon. We should be careful kasi people do spend a lot of time building what they have. Kaya mahalagang alamin yung buong kwento nito. Because what if it was, like we said at the beginning, just ignorance, just naivete na humantong sa sitwasyon na ito. Kung ganon, yeah, bigyan natin ng benefit of the doubt ng konti. But at the same time, Nas still needs to handle this in the proper way, you know? By the way, maraming salamat sa mga compliments nyo dito, Kakampi. You know, before I was scared to talk about issues because akala ko ang sasabihin lang sa akin ay, panyaga ka lang, wag kang makialam. And people have been doing that to Doc Adam. They'll probably do that to me more pag mas malaki na yung channel. But the thing is I address that. And I think that's why Doc Adam is addressing it too. So mga Kakampi, you know, kung gusto nyo ng collab sa amin ni Doc Adam tungkol sa issue na ito, please sampalin ninyo ang like and let's get this video viewed by a lot of people.
You what happened exactly? For starters, okay, before we even begin, the details of her post are not strong from a logical point of view. Can you imagine anyone with
Okay, mga Kakampi, tanungin ko lang, is everybody in agreement na medyo malabo yung nangyayari kay Luis? I don't feel like we need to watch this kasi malabo nga yung nangyayari kay Luis. Like witnesses have said things are a little different. I mean, the logic of it doesn't make complete sense to me either. I do think that Nas Daily and team, I don't know what they did. I don't know what they said. Kung mayroon man, it just, I don't think somebody like Nas would be saying yung kabastusan like publicly. Like if he was going to do it, he would do it behind closed doors. I don't think he would do that in front of a stranger. Like, so that's where medyo may duda ako. Cool. Yeah, make it happen. Doc Adam and Puting Pinoy. Yeah, I'll let Doc Adam know. Also, I know that Dwayne Woolley and I have been on this topic for a long time. Matagal na namin pinagusapan ito. So, yeah, she said lang, yeah. Yeah, it's the Luis and Nas issue is like a damn circus. Tama Kakampi. I think that Luis is just, no. Kay Sandy naman, kay Lost Juan naman, like, nalaman ko na parang sinasubukan lang niyang pakinabangan ng situwasyon na ito. Like, instead of like really trying to get to the truth and stuff, which is unfortunate because he could have got what he wanted, which was a boost, which he did get a boost, but he could have gotten a boost, been ethical, and even maybe solved a lot of issues because kung kaibigan niya si Nas Daily, maaring niyang pag-usapan ang mga bagay na ito. You know? Yeah, he's a businessman. Exactly. Bakit hindi nagsasalita si Nas Daily? Guilty ba siya? Gusto lang namin marinig ang comment niya tungkol dito sa issue na ito. I agree, Kakampi, 100%. He should be answering kung makano ba ang sahod ng kanyang followers. So, ulit mga Kakampi, kung kilala nyo or kung ikaw mismo ay isang employee, former employee, or si Nas Daily mismo, please let me know so I can talk to you. I would love to know. I go about everything ethically. I'm not going to be ousting people's names or anything. It'll be anonymous unless it's Nas Daily himself. Then I'd be super glad to, to talk to him. One, honestly, it would be a boost for me. Awesome. But more than that, it would be a way to resolve this issue. I care about the truth. Do you think, guys, if I didn't care about the truth, would I still be in the situation my channel is in? I probably would have not been in that situation, right? I probably would have just made a bunch of BS content that gets views. Para makinabang ako, but no, I care about the truth.
Are saying that it's Pinoybait. How can you say that? I mean, we made 25 out of 600 videos about the Philippines. That's less than 5% of the videos I ever released about the Philippines. And many times I say that I love the mentality of Filipinos. From the day I visited, I always
agree,
felt
Kikampi.
like I shared the same energy as Filipinos. A lot of energy, a lot of positivity, this youthful vibe. Very warm and welcoming. It's not right, especially now that the Project Nightfall organization is starting to help people from all around the world. We literally just had a call with a Filipino mom who needs funds to help her two autistic kids with therapy, which we will be sponsoring this week.
Okay, cool. So tumutulong naman siya, and I think if it wasn't for, that's a weird photo I got that on. Tingnan niyo mga kikampi. That is a really weird picture of him right there. I don't parang pwede din idagdag ito sa sa thumbnail. Anyway, yeah, if he's helping people and he's not even broadcasting it and it sounds like that's something that he's doing, good for him. But again, that's a different issue. Iba naman yung issue, like hindi naman, walang kaugnayan, walang connect, yung charity. I guess it could serve to help support the fact that they do care about the Philippines. But as far as this Wang Ode situation, And it's interesting to me na nakafocus sila sa Luis issue when we're already like, okay, yeah, parang may issue, parang problematic nga. Aren't they going to address the whole 40% Filipinos? They're the champion of Filipinos. Aren't they going to address that? Because they really should.
Planning to open a care house in the Philippines next year, and I can't believe that despite all of this, now all of this is being damaged so easily.
Yeah.
Based on something that I'm not even attached to. My name is not used in all of.
Yeah. So I think that's true. That's fair. That's a little fair. I do think when he's saying Buwan, that might have been a little opportunistic. But then again, that's just us. But then again, why Buwan? Was it because he just really loved the song? I don't know. I'm speculating on that, but they're smart people. They're going to know how to avoid being exposed as best as possible. They have lawyers. They have all of that. But I mean, that's what makes this so magulo and so malabo. But the thing is I don't know why they're talking about this when the issue is not this. Well, he does bring up about the Wang Ode thing, that if he was there and knew things were wrong, he would have told him it was wrong.
It's very sad. I close every video nowadays saying that by watching our videos, you help us save lives.
Oh, no.
Because I really believe in it.
Okay, good.
Wherever you're from, whether it's Philippines, Africa, or the US, I believe that I'm building a community of people who want to make the world better.
Okay, so I think that's fair, but at the same time, he's also being helped. So sana matauhan din siya doon. Like I just did, right? Sinabi ko, kung i-interviewin ko si Nas Daily, that's a big boost for me. Hindi ako nagsisinungaling. Hindi ako nagmumukhang magiting lang, right? But that's what I want to do. That would get views. That would be awesome. But at the same time, it's because I do really believe in it. I wouldn't ask for your views. I wouldn't ask for it if I didn't think I was offering something of value. Diba? Pagsabihan nyo tropa niya para di na siya madamay, patunayan niya. Yeah, exactly. You should be trying to figure out the truth, right? Let's see here. Gusto kong basahin ang isa dito. Where is this? Yeah, nagtataka din ako, bakit nagsasalita si Project Nightfall before Nas Daily is even addressing it? I think kung walang sasabihin si Nas Daily, we should be very upset. Pero ayon sa organizers ni Nas Daily, yung volunteer group, sinabi nila na may video na ilalabas ni Nas Daily daw. So he just has he has a busy schedule right now with different engagements, prearranged engagements, like speaking and public speaking and whatnot. So I think he will address it. And when he does, be sure mga kakampi, tatalakay natin yon dito sa channel. I mean, if sa Bisaya pa nagkwenta na si Project Nightfall, if pure intention mo tumulong, may issue o wala, i-bash ka man o hindi, tutulong ka, opinion ko lang. Yeah, I mean, I think it is fair of him to talk for himself, but I do think that he should be honest na nakikinabang din siya, na hindi lang ito tungkol sa hindi lang ito tungkol sa pagtulong niya sa iba. There's a selfish motivation, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Self-interest. We all need to have self-interest. We all are self-interested as humans. For me, yung explanation ni Project Nightfall, dapat nag-stick na lang siya sa main issue kasi if it turned into Pinoybaiting / poverty porn real quick. Well, I don't think, okay, so sa tingin ko, wala naman issue na he sets the record straight. That's okay. But the issue that I have is why. Like, why is he not addressing the issue, the elephant in the room? And as for Nas Daily, yeah, they should be talking.
And that's why I decided to record this video and clear my name and tell you what happened from my standpoint. Because if I remain silent, it's as if I am guilty of something. And so whoever wants to unfollow, whoever wants to
that's a good call.
Our
Good
Project
company.
Nightfall mission, of course, it saddens me, but you are free to do it.
Oh, wait, that was a little manipulative, Project Nightfall. If you want to leave our mission to save the world, then okay, I understand. I mean, it's like he's shaming you with the logic. It's an appeal to emotion that he's using in his rhetoric. And it's a little manipulative, kung tutuusin.
The real problem is, though, that I'm getting so much negativity from this side of the world right now. So many bad comments.
Yeah,
so
he's
many
trying to
negative
protect
messages.
his. Yeah,
And
exactly.
It's especially hurtful because I know it's a lie and I know I have not done anything wrong. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending with me these few minutes. I hope I managed to help you understand a little bit better my point of view.
Okay.
I genuinely love you all.
How do you love all of us? Do you know us?
Out of it stronger.
Okay. So, oops. No.
Hello,
No,
Philippines.
No. Okay, and yeah, okay, whatever. We're done with that. We're done with that guy. So, okay, he works with the Nas Daily team, and it's like wala siyang connection at all to Nas. Yeah, I mean, he should have at least made some sort of video announcing that he was no longer going to be working with them, diba? Para walang masyadong ano. Yeah, ice cream na lang tayo mga kakampi. Yeah, appeal to emotion, toxic talaga. Yeah, the same thing with both of them is lagi nilang bring up yung number of Filipino employees nila. Like, how is that relevant to the issue? Tama, kakampi. That's a different issue altogether. At ganon din sa mga Pinoybaiters, if they're bringing up the charity stuff that they do, it's only relevant to a certain point, but it can also be used in a way to manipulate an audience. First languages is one, FERT languages is one best foreign vloggers, a Harvard graduate who studied different Philippine languages. And he barely gets any views. Sige, Kikampi, pwede mo bang i-share yan? Siguro i-collab ko siya. that, and hopefully can get him a little bit more projected. See, mga kakampi, yung mga genuine na creators, they'll continue to create, but they may get burnt out. They may stop. They may disappear. Samantalang yung mga peking creators ay nandito pa rin. Ano ba ang mas gusto natin, mga kakampi? Gusto ba natin na malinis, maganda, ethical, at makabuluhan ang mga pag-uusap natin dito sa platform? Or are we going to continue to tell the algorithm that it's better to have mga content na may ethical issues, na may kasinungalingan, na may paka-OA? Yan ang dapat natin pag-isipan. Dapat talaga, mga kakampi, maging critical thinkers tayo. It's been 1 hour and 20 minutes. I really appreciate we got up to like 94 viewers. I really appreciate sa lahat ng nanonood. And we'll go ahead, we'll do updates about this scenario. Pero may mga ibang videos tayo. We're going to be talking about, yung buwan ng mga wika. So if you have any suggestions, ilagay nyo sa comment section pag na-post na ito. Oh wait, one moment. Si Nurse Candy, welcome Nurse Candy. Isa siya sa mga supporters ng channel. Kung gusto niyo mga kakampi mag-join sa channel, go ahead and sampalin ninyo ang join. May pagkakataon din kayong mag-donate to the channel if you want. And kung may kakayahan lang, to help these videos go. Help me avoid that, pecha de peligro. Yeah. Hindi gusto namin basta entertaining. Okay. Friends stick together, di ba? Why is he pulling himself away from Nas? Exactly. That ain't no friend of his. Yeah, exactly. He's trying to save himself. But anyway, mga kakampi, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Jerry, lahat ng mga nagsalita dito. I'll see you in the next videos. Appear mga kakampi. At huwag kalimutan ulit na sampalin ng like at sampalin ang kampana. Appear tayo. Oops.